right, let's get right into it. We are about to crack the code on those math problems that just eat up all your time in exams. And listen, you don't need to be a math genius. Today, we're going to turn you into a math strategist. You know the feeling, right? The clock is ticking, you're just staring at this long chain of fractions and brackets, and you can feel that panic start to creep in. It's the number one time waster for so many students. But what if I told you it's all just an illusion? Okay, so check this out. This is really interesting. We pulled data directly from past exams, and look at this breakdown. A massive 40% of these problems are just fraction chains. Another 25%, just problems with brackets. You add in the 20% that are simple order of operations, and you suddenly realize most of the exam is just these same few patterns repeated over and over again. 85%. And no, that is not a typo. The vast majority of those terrifying-looking questions are just copies of 3 basic patterns. Once you learn to see them, you can solve them practically on autopilot. So let's learn the system. First up is the biggest one, the one that makes up a whopping 40% of all problems. We're calling it the fraction game. And the goal here is to see right through all the clutter and just follow a simple, repeatable process. Here's the most crucial point. No matter how long and messy that chain of fractions looks, it always boils down to these 3 steps. 1. Convert any mixed fractions to improper ones. 2. Find one single common denominator for everything. And 3. Collapse that entire top line in a single pass. That's it. That's the whole game. So let's look at the rules set. Think of these as your non-negotiables. You always convert mixed fractions first. No exceptions. Obviously, use a common denominator. But this last rule, this one is absolutely critical for speed. Never, ever expand early. You're just making more work for yourself. Keep everything as compressed as possible. These right here are the 4 templates you're going to see over and over. T1 and T3 are just your standard addition and subtraction using a common denominator. T2 is multiplication. Just remember to cancel out common terms as soon as you can. And then there's T4, the big one, the mixed chain. But really, it's just a combination of the others. You convert everything, find one LCM for the whole thing, and solve it all in one go. Now, you gotta be careful. These are the classic traps where people lose marks. A simple mistake, converting a mixed fraction, and your whole answer is wrong. But the biggest killer, by far, is canceling terms across a plus or minus sign. Let me be clear, you can only cancel terms when you are multiplying. Don't fall for that one. All right, let's dive into the second major pattern. This one accounts for another 25% of the questions. We call it the bracket maze. Now, I know these look intimidating, but they follow a very simple logic. Here it is. This is the golden rule for every single bracket problem you'll ever face. You always, and I mean always, solve the absolute innermost part of the expression first. Once you solve that, you collapse it into a single fraction. Then you just work your way outwards, one layer at a time. It's like peeling an onion. So the rule set just reinforces this idea. Find the center of the maze, that innermost bracket, solve it completely, turn that entire thing into one clean, simple fraction, and only after that bracket is a single number do you even think about touching anything outside of it. Trust me, this will prevent so many mistakes. And here are the templates you'll see. For C1, you solve what's inside the bracket first, then you subtract the result. For C2, you reduce the bracket, then flip it and multiply for the division. And with C3, you can think of that multiplication part as its own little bracket. You solve that block first, and then you add or subtract the final term. Okay, watch out for these traps. The most common one is forgetting to flip the signs of every term inside a bracket when there's a minus sign out front. It's so easy to miss. Also, a simple conversion mistake inside the bracket will, I guarantee it, give you the wrong answer. Just be systematic. Okay, on to our third and final major pattern, the order of operations, or BODMAS. This covers another 20% of questions, and it's all about following a strict, unchangeable sequence. No creativity allowed here. So the key insight here is that these questions aren't random. They are specifically designed to test your knowledge of the BODMAS rules in very predictable formats. The core pattern is just recognizing that you don't solve from left to right, you solve based on which operator has priority. This slide is so important. Within the group of multiplication and division, you have to solve strictly from left to right. The same thing goes for addition and subtraction. Don't do all the multiplication first and then all the division. Nope. It's one single pass, from left to right for M and D. Then you do a second pass, left to right for A and S, and just keep collapsing the numbers into a single running total as you go. The number one error, the one that catches almost everyone, is forgetting that left to right rule. Let me give you an example. 10 divided by 5 times 2. Your brain really wants to multiply 5 times 2 first to get 10. You can't do that. You have to do 10 divided by 5 first because it's on the left. The answer is 4, not 1. This one single mistake is probably the biggest source of wrong answers on the entire exam. So we've just covered the 3 core patterns that make up 85% of all simplification problems. Now let's compress everything we've learned into your final exam-ready cheat sheet. This is it, the entire strategy, the whole playbook distilled into these 12 unbreakable rules. From converting mixed fractions to that crucial left-to-right rule, this is your complete system. You internalize these and you'll have a clear process for every single problem they can throw at you. And here's what you need to burn into your memory. Look, it's not some endless list of formulas. It's just 4 fraction templates, 3 bracket templates, and a few basic identities. That's it. That's the entire universe of problems you're likely to face. Memorize the templates, learn to spot them in the exam, and then just execute the plan. Let's end with this thought, because it's really important. Speed and accuracy in these questions, they don't come from some kind of innate math talent. They come from recognizing the pattern and executing a pre-planned, systematic solution. You're not solving a puzzle, you're running a program. So that's the simplification code all broken down. You now have the patterns, you have the rules, and you have the templates. You have the system. So the only question left is, are you ready to use it?